Hey, cuties. Grace here. Welcome back to 5 Years Time. 5 Years Time podcast. I'm just dropping things left and right over here. I just came in from outside. I've been working outside today and it's been so lovely. I've also been doing like creative things, which is just like the best. Creative things outside. And that's when I wish I had like an outdoor kitchen, like the full setup, the fridge, the everything, and just like, but then there's bugs and they can get annoying, especially now when it's hot and the wasps come out. So, anyways, that's a subset. Okay, moving on for that. Today we are going to have such a fun episode because I went to Instagram, and if you want to follow me over there, it's 5 Years Time podcast, and I pulled all of you for a Q&A, or I guess I didn't pull. I asked you all for questions, anything that you're curious about or advice you're looking for or just whatever. And you guys really, 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 really came through. There's so many, which I definitely won't get through all of them. And I just screenshotted them all and I figured we could just randomly pick some and start answering. I was thinking, like, I didn't want to think about my answer too much because I wanted it to be really like authentic. So I was like, oh, should I make like a theme, like try and pick ones that are all similar, or should we just do like a mix and match? And I thought a mix and match would be fun. That being said, please let me know how you feel about this episode once you've listened to it. If you like the Q&A style, because maybe we'll do some more because there's definitely so many great questions in here and also just inspiration for like other podcast episodes moving forward. Maybe I'll do like a Q&A, not episode every month, but just ask. And then that could give me like interesting topics that you might want to hear speak on, or, me speak on. But anyways, let's jump into my weekly recap. I'm trying to think of when I recorded last week. It was Monday and I had a really busy week. Okay, let's jump in. So, cuties, we had such an amazing week. I would love if you checked out our vlog over on 5 Years Time Podcast YouTube channel, where you can also watch the podcast if you're a visual person, because it's so fun and I feel like we got up to so much good stuff and I vlogged it all. So if that's something you're interested in, go check it out. But I'm going to give you the vocal recap. Anyways, what did we get up to? Okay, so on Tuesday, I went up north, and I think I told you that was my bud. I think. God, honestly, I don't even remember. We went up north to visit Becca and celebrate my mother-in-law, and that was lovely. And we saw Trevor's Oma and Grandpa, and it was really nice. It was just me and Ro, but we went up a little bit early because I was like, if I'm going to drive all that way, let's make a day of it. So we went up early, first thing in the morning, and got a couple hours out on the water with our paddleboard, and Ro was having so much fun. We played at the beach for a bit. There was a park, and it was just such a good time for me and Ro to, have some of that connection time. She's getting so brave in the water. It's really fun to watch. And then we had it for lunch, and that was wonderful. And um it was so amazing what the weather did. So it was very much predicting rain, but anytime there was a little bit when we were eating our dinner, we had all pretty much finished up and it just started to rain and we were sitting outside. So they moved us inside and we just sat at a table. But that was the only bit where we got stuck in rain. Other than that, it only rained when we were like in transit. So we drove from there to a park and it rained during the drive, but not when we got to the park. And then we went from the park back to Becca's work to have ice cream, and it rained on the trip to the um to get ice cream, but not when we got there. And it was just perfect. And then the same thing when we were driving back, which actually we didn't go home right away. So we were going to go home right away, but it was 4 p.m. and we would have hit Toronto traffic. And I was thinking, hey, we're already up north. I wonder how far it is from the camp where I grew up, because I'd love to show Ro, and it's around dinner time, so we could stop in and have dinner with our friends in the kitchen. So I checked it out. It was about an hour away, and I was like, let's do it. So we drove to camp. Ro was so excited. I gave her the tour. I wasn't expecting her, like, I was not expecting her to, I don't know, understand that what it was that I was taking her to. I don't know what I was expecting, but I just told her, like, I called up Trevor and I told him, oh, well, I'm going to go and we'll come back a little bit later, like, whatever. He's like, sounds good. So after I hung up the phone with him, like on speaker, Ro was like, oh, we're going to your camp. And like, she goes to summer camp, day camp. So yes, she knows what camp is. But I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, I'm so excited. And I was like, okay. And then we got there and she would like loved it. Like, wanted to see every little bit of it, but I could only show her so much. But she's so excited to go when she's older, and she just had the best time ever, and she keeps talking about it, and it was so fun. And it was like really meaningful for me, and I was fully not expecting it to be like that much of a beautiful experience. Like it was really lovely, and just hearing her like opinion on it and her excitement was really great because I have the same excitement and opinion about it as well. That being said, that just reminded me of another really beautiful moment on the way up to uh up north. I was put on music, and I've been loving the Spotify AI like DJ. I'm not sure. I just got it. Trevor's had it for a while, so I think they're like slowly rolling it out. So you might have it. If you haven't looked into it, look into it. It's just like an option when you go to your Spotify like homepage. It's like I think it's called AI DJ or Spotify DJ, and he like picks out music for you, and I think it's like maybe 4 or 5 songs, and then he comes back on and he like says like, okay, we're switching up to this vibe, and he'll show you new music that you've been loving, throwback music. Sometimes it's like a full feature on an artist, so he'll play like 5 songs from one artist. I just love it. It's so fun, and you can like refresh it if you're not interested and skip songs and whatever. But it's just so fun, and I love not having to pick out my music, especially when I'm someone who like will overplay songs like no other. So like when I'm into it, it's like I'm playing those 4 songs until I'm over it, and then it's like, okay, I need someone to show me new music. And so this is a great way, or re-inspire me with music I used to love. So it's been really fun. But that just reminded me, I put on Spotify DJ for the drive up, and 5 years time came on, which is what this podcast is named over. It's a song, or named after. It's a song by Noah and the Whale, and it has a very important connection to me and my dad, who passed away when I was younger. So Ro has never met my dad. So it came on, and I was saying to her, I was like, oh, this was me and my dad's favorite song. And she was like, oh, who's your dad? Because obviously she's never really like, we don't talk about him too often. I've shared about him, of course, but like she's never met him or anything. And she's like, I want to meet your dad. And I was like, oh, I would love that. But unfortunately, he passed away when I was younger, blah, blah, blah. Like, we kind of got into it a little bit. And then the song really picked up. And then we just like sat and listened. And all of a sudden, Ro out of nowhere was like, um, me, you, and your dad love this song. And I was like, you like this song too? And she said, yeah, you, me, and your dad and Alibi, we all love this song. And it was just made me start crying. Like, it was so sweet. And it was just one of those, like, really, it was a connection moment that I haven't shared with Ro about. Now I'm going to cry again. That I haven't shared with Ro um about like my dad, and it was really wonderful. And it's nice for her to connect with her grandpa, who isn't here anymore. And we do have a rocking chair that is from my dad's house, and I sit on it with her pretty much every day. And I usually, especially when she was a baby, I would tell her lots of different stories. Now I'm like, I need to share more, and I need to get out pictures, and I need to make sure that she is more immersed in my dad, because that's the most beautiful way to carry on the loved ones that are no longer with us, is sharing those stories and memories and lovely moments. And that being said, I really quickly looked through the Q&A, like, and um one thing that pointed out or stuck out to me is someone had asked about grief advice, and we are going to have a grief podcast. I know I've been saying this, but it's going to come this fall because it's very important um time for me, and my journey with grief. And so I am going to do a whole episode all about grief, and I just wanted to put that out there, especially talking about that right now. But yeah, so don't worry, I may not talk about it. There's a little bit now, but we are going to have a whole episode in probably this October, all on grief and grief journey and getting through and moving with emotion. So that will be coming out, I promise, cuties. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm really putting a lot of thought and energy into it because it's something that's close to my heart. And I know it's close to so many of your hearts as well. Anyways, back to our weekly recap is, yeah, so we had a wonderful day up in Muskoka, and we had a great drive back. And then I got home, I think around like 11, which if you know me, you know I'm in bed by like 8:30, 9 o'clock. But I had to get up first thing in the morning to hit the GO train and head into Toronto because I had an event or a work event, and I was making a day of it. So I went out for lunch with my sister, or dinner with my sister-in-law, and then I did some work and headed back on the train. But I've never taken the commuter GO train from Niagara, and it was fabulous. I loved it. I'm like, oh, I would do that way more often. So I'm looking forward to whenever my next opportunity to go to Toronto arises, and hopefully that lining up with taking the commuter train, because I really did enjoy it. It's like right before, there's only one train. It goes right before 7. I think it's like 6:50 something, and then it comes home at 5:20, just after 5. So the only inconvenience is if you wanted to like go out for dinner, like make a whole day in the city. But I mean, that's a long day. So as long as you can do like a dinner or something, or a brunch or a whatever, because I always like to like at least see one friend, because I am from Toronto originally. So it's just nice to, have a connection moment. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's 2 hours of just sitting and chilling. And for a whole hour, there's like pretty much no one on the train. And I did work on the way in, but then on the way home, I downloaded Abbott Elementary. Um, to watch, and it was really nice. I just watched it on my phone. I also have my iPad I could have watched it on, but I watched it on my phone. But anyways, then the rest of the week I just had a bunch of work stuff I needed to get done, and I honestly was so drained by Friday. I don't even think I realized like how tired I was. And then Friday was my mom's birthday. So Thursday, I need to come home, get work stuff done because I was out and about those 2 past days. And then on Friday, all of a sudden, I was like, I'm so drained. But I took my mom out for coffee and breakfast in the morning at this little cute cafe, which I'm like obsessed with. And it was really wonderful. And then we hosted a little barbecue for her in the evening. And so that was really nice as well. And then Saturday and Sunday, I literally tried to chill as much as possible. We went to Trevor's parents on Saturday because him and his dad were going to see a movie. And so me, Ro, and his mom were just hanging out, but like really being so chill. And it was like a rainy day. It was perfect. And then Sunday, I pretty much finished about why can't I say Abbott Elementary, and because the double B's are throwing me off. And then I started the summer I turned pretty. The first, what was it, 3 episodes that are out, and I just like laid in bed all day and recouped, and that was wonderful, like exactly what I needed. And then I hit Monday feeling fabulous. But wow, it was wild how like all of a sudden I was just like, do I need to start drinking caffeine again? Like I felt so drained, but I'm okay. And now I'm back and I don't need to drink caffeine. Like that was my instant thing. I was like, can I not live without caffeine? Like what's happening right now? Um because it was that same type of feeling of when I first quit caffeine, like that week of just like feeling so drained. But it was actually, I just like physically used and mentally used all my energy earlier in the week. But yeah, it was a great week. And now we're here, cuties. Happy Wednesday. So let's get into my snack and drink of the week. I'm so excited because I have a bubbly and I just came in from outside. So nothing like getting a nice crisp bubbly. It's actually an aha. Just so you know, I call every bubble water, every carbonated water a bubbly because Ro does. But this one's actually an aha, and it's the pineapple passion fruit, and it is so refreshing. So let's pop on it. Ooh, I hope that picked up on the mic as satisfying because the smell really just hit me in the nose because I cracked it so close to my mouth. Yum. Okay, cheers, cuties. Mm. Oh, I get it. Anyways, I love anything passion fruit. And pineapple, I feel like adds like a really sweet flavor to a sparkling water, but delicious. Mm-mm-mm. And then my snack of the week is we've been having, sorry, I'm just leaning over. We've been having these mini ice cream cones. I found mini ice cream cones. My mom had them at her house for a while and for Ro, and I never asked like where she got them from or anything. But anyways, I finally found them just randomly. They were at a random store just sticking out of my face. I don't even know where I ended up getting them from, but I was just like, oh my gosh, mini ice cream cones. So they're super teeny tiny, and I've been absolutely loving them. And we've been eating gelato like pretty much every single day after dinner. We'll go for a walk. Sometimes with breakfast. Ro loves her morning walk with her gelato. But either way, we'll go on a walk at some point during the day and have a mini cone with gelato, and it's so delicious, and it's just like the perfect little something something. And yeah, I've really been enjoying it. That being said, there's this passion fruit flavor I've been having by Righteous Gelato. It's so good. I love how tangy it is, and it's just like so delicious. They also have this raspberry one that is like next level. But that's my snack of the week. I've just been enjoying these tiny cones and a big old scoop of gelato on there. It's delicious. Okay, let's move into This Week I Learned, which is us all learning together with this Q&A where I'm going to learn with you and share because we're picking my brain. Okay, let me pull up my pictures. Here we go. What is something you love to do? That is a great question. Something I love to do is just being in nature. I love to be outside and just feel whatever the small moment is, which always is the big moment, I gotta tell you, cutes. But whatever the small moment is that you can feel when you're out there. So, like, we've been going on a walk every morning, and Rose really into her scooter. So, she's been scootering, and I've been walking. We're doing it every morning and sometimes after dinner, depending on how much time we have. But just whatever I sense when I'm out there, whether that be the way the sun feels on my shoulders or the way that the trees are bustling or the butterflies. Oh my gosh, there's so many monarchs out all of a sudden and robins. It's wild how many robins there are. I'm like, I don't remember there being this many robins last year. Just noticing those differences and the little moments. Like, I love that. That is something I love doing. Being out in nature and just noticing those little things. Okay. Next up, what is your MBTI? With big eye emojis. I don't even know what that means. I gotta look that up. Oh, it's like a personality thing. Oh, I have to do a quiz. I don't know if it's a long quiz. Should we do it together? Okay, let's do it together. I'm always intrigued by these things. Like, I love people who are so good at astrology and can just like tell me fun things. Like, I'm always like, ooh. Okay, I know this isn't astrology. I don't think so. Okay, ready? You fixate on a certain right way of doing things. So I'm rating this from strongly agree to strongly disagree. So you're going to learn a lot here. So you fixate on a certain right way of doing things. I'm going to say closer to the strongly disagree because honestly, there's flexibility. You express your opinions explicitly. Oh, you're going to learn how not bad I am at reading. I used to always feel like I was never enough or could never. I used to feel like I could never be enough, especially when it came to certain things like reading because like I wasn't really good at it right off the bat, but the way you get good at things is by trying and practicing. And also reading can be for enjoyment. I feel like in school it's not taught that way. So I'm not going to speak negatively about that. You're going to experience how I read, and sometimes it takes me a little bit of time to get one word right, and that's okay. Okay, so you express your opinions explicitly and in a straightforward manner. Mm. Cuties, I wish you could help me out with this. I want to say sometimes I do, and then the other times I feel like I am very long-winded. My opinions. I do think that I have opinions. I'm not, they change rapidly, but I do think that like when I have an opinion, I say it pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go closer to the strongly agree. You prefer practicality and you are a perfectionist. Totally not. Strongly disagree. You see the world as black and white with no shades of gray. Oh, strongly disagree. That is not true at all. You believe in having a strong moral compass. I do. I do believe in that. I'm going to say strongly agree, closer to strongly agree. Maybe I should say the most strongly agree, but I think closer because there's room. There's always room for whatever. Okay, here. You hold yourself to a higher standard than others around you. Yes and no. Like, I definitely hold myself more accountable than to others. But then when it comes to things like I'm not cuties, I admit I'm not a garden queen. I know I told you this summer I'm going to become a gardening queen, but I live in a neighborhood of gardening queens. And I'm trying. We're getting there. It's going to be a year over year process. And I'm not saying that I haven't given up at all, but I've put in a little bit of work this year and every year I'm going to put in a little bit more. But I'm going to say I actually don't feel like the need to um like work extra hard on my yard so that it matches what other people's look like. This is like a random example, but like, so you hold yourself to a higher standard than others around you. I want to say like in the middle. I think like I expect of you what you expect of me. And I that's something new. Like I used to always think like, oh, people can't come over unless my house is clean, da 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 da. But now it's like, I want you yes, clean. Like you'll be able to use my bathroom It won't be disgusting, but like it's okay if I have an unfolded pile of laundry and toys scattered around because like it's about the vibe. And I expect that in your house as well. Like I don't mind coming in and it being chillax. Like I like that. It's easy to just like unwind to be chillax when it's not all like perfection all the time. Okay, you are overly critical of your shortcomings so that others won't be. You were overly critical of your shortcomings. Like that means like what does that mean? Like I'm hard on the things that I'm not good at so that other people can't be? No, as I kind of just told you about my reading is like I try to speak to myself really positively and switch things in my mind. So I think I've worked really well on that. So you are overly critical of your shortcomings so that others won't be. I'm going to say strongly disagree, closer to the strongly disagree side. Not all the way, but like close. It's on a scale of 5. You repress emotions that feel negative to you. Ooh. I try to be as honest as I can with myself. This is something I've really worked on. So I'm going to say closer to strongly disagree. You have sorry, had a gas bubble and then I couldn't say anything. You have had a hard time accepting your shortcomings, which makes you extremely critical of yourself. Oh, what was the other one? Maybe I interpreted the other one wrong. You have a hard time of accepting your shortcomings. Oh, no. Okay. Which makes you extremely critical of yourself. So I have a hard time accepting what I'm not so good at. Wait. Oh, accepting them. Like it's okay. I strongly disagree because I just told you it's okay. We're all different. You don't mind personal sacrifices for the greater good of the world. You don't mind of course. Strongly agree. Of course, of course, of course. We are in this together. Okay, you are a people pleaser. Ooh, I used to be such a people pleaser. I'm going to say closer to strongly disagree because I'm pretty good at not having to people please anymore. You put others' needs before your own. Ooh. Ooh, this one's hard because it kind of ties in with people pleaser, but I know that my cup needs to be filled first, but I also love to care for others. And especially being a mother and a wife, I always am thinking of the people in my home community. You put other people's needs before your own. I'm going to say neutral. There's a middle. I'm neutral. You feel like a caretaker for others, almost like a host. Ooh, I love being a host. I definitely am a caretaker for my child. But in friendship groups, no, I don't think I feel like the caretaker. I feel like I am the host. I love hosting. I love having people over. Um, but I don't think that if I'm like out and about with friends that I am always thinking like, oh, who's being taken care of here and there. So that's a hard one. I also don't feel like I'm responsible for like directing the people in my life. So you feel like a caretaker for others, almost like a host. Almost like a host is throwing me off because like I definitely do enjoy hosting. But the caretaker for others, I'm going to say closer to strongly disagree. Okay, you are a selfless person, but only because it helps you gain approval from others. Oh, that's deep. You are a selfless person, but only because it helps you gain approval from others. I'm going to say closer to strongly disagree because that's kind of close to what people pleaser is, and also just like caring what others think or changing the way that you behave to make other people feel comfortable or to make yourself feel more accepted. And I really try to live as authentically as I can. While you are a selfless person, this can be to gain validation or approval from others. This is kind of close to the same thing. Isn't that the same question? You are a selfless person. This can be to gain validation or approval from others. And then the question prior was you are a selfless person, but only because it helps you gain approval from others. Okay. Well, this is validation and approval from others. Or it's not as it's not as like a certainty. While you are a selfless person, this can be to gain validation or approval from others. I'm going to say closer to strongly disagree because I feel like I've really stepped back from the people pleasing. Okay, we're 40% through, cuties. Oh my gosh, this might be the only question we get through. I hope this is interesting. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Okay, you enjoy but I'm also now like so intrigued. You enjoy hosting parties and group activities. Yes, strongly agree. You use white lies to prevent people from getting hurt because of the truth. Um No, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. I'm trying to think. I feel like I don't get put in this position too often, but maybe I try to be as honest as possible, but like at the same time respectful. You use white lies to prevent people from getting. I'm gonna go right in the middle. Also, my foot is asleep. Oh, oh my gosh, pins and needles, pins and needles. Okay. Oh, you were seen as the parent friend in your social group. I literally am the only parent friend in my social group. So I'm going to say literally I am, but figuratively, no, I don't think I am. I don't think I am. That's an interesting question. I'd love to know, but I have one really great girlfriend who I would consider the parent. Like she's always taking care of everyone. Okay, you were seen. So I'm going to say closer to, I'm going to say strongly discreet, like full on strongly. Okay, let me just take a drink. You feel, one second. You feel in your element when, um, you feel in your element when are, I think this is written wrong. You feel in your element when are surrounded, when you're, I'm just going to change the wording. You feel in your element when you're surrounded by loved ones and insecure around strangers. That's a good question. You feel in your element when you're surrounded by loved ones, 100%, and insecure around strangers. I used to feel that way. Now I have worked I've worked so hard on this. Um and I try to be as confident as I can going into a stranger interaction, and that makes me feel really confident because I used to be really not confident with that. So I'm not going to say fully strongly disagree, but like the middle one. Not the middle, but like on the air of strongly disagree. Sometimes you can come off as clingy. I think this is true, but I also don't know. I don't know if I do anymore because I'm trying to think about the people in my life. Maybe I do come off as clingy. I think I might because one thing about me is I always want to be included. Um, and like growing up, we used to go on vacations and stuff. And if I met friends on vacation, like I always wanted to participate in what they were participating in. But then like they're there with their family, so they're gonna go do family stuff. And it's like, oh, I wish I could participate. And then like even in my personal life growing up, if I made friends, I always wished that I could like be part of whatever they were doing. But then it was like, oh, it's family time or we're going on a family walk. So like I couldn't participate. Clearly lots of family things where like I feel like my family was always like more the merrier, like we're having dinner, everyone come, we're gonna do this, everyone come, like. So I don't know if it's so maybe I do come off as clingy. I gotta ask Trevor that. I'm gonna say closer to strong, not fully strongly agree, but I'm gonna say somewhere there because like if someone gives me an inch, I run with it for a mile. Like you're my bestie for life, even though like you're probably not. But in my mind, like if you give me the opportunity to be your friend, like I am so excited about that. Okay, you feel drawn to do volunteer work. I'm going to say closer to strongly agree. I do love volunteering. You base your value and self worth on academic and professional success. I used to be so bad at this, and I used to think that I was my job, and now I don't agree. So I'm going to say closer to strongly disagree. Not fully, because of course there's a little bit of stigma in there, and like I do feel proud when I'm doing good at work, but yeah. You are a workaholic. I feel like I have been in the past, definitely, even just recently. And now I have found a really beautiful balance, which I have shared with you guys, and how I'm feeling so much more in tune with my why and what I want in this life. So I'm going to say, on the air of strongly disagree. You repress your emotions to present yourself as a confident individual. No, strongly disagree. I'm very honest with how my emotions are, and I can only be as confident as I am in that moment. And why can't you be confident when you're not confident? Like you can feel insecure and still get out there and put yourself in the situation, and then your confidence will come. Fake it till you make it, baby. But not repress. Okay, you spend your time collecting. Oh gosh, another word, accolades. I got it. I sometimes a word doesn't look like I'll be able to say it, but when I go to pronounce it, it comes out. Okay. You spend your time collecting accolades in fields that you are not even interested in at all. But now I have to look up what accolades mean. Okay, let's look up what accolades mean. Accolades meaning An award or privilege granted as a special honor or an acknowledgement. Okay. Okay. So you spend your time collecting acknowledgments in a field that you are not even interested in at all. Strongly disagree. Like, I don't even, no. Okay. You doubt, okay. 60% through, cuties. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. You doubt your self-worth and constantly seek external validation. Oh, I used to be this. I used to get annoyed in work situations because I felt like I wasn't getting the validation that I deserved or needed to be able to succeed, whether that be good or just constructive criticism. And I think there's like a balance there, but I also think that I needed to be responsible for my own validation and knowing my self worth. And this is something that working for myself and being pretty much on my own has really been a battle with because I'm the only person that can shout myself out. Um, and well, obviously in social media there's commentary and like the cuties being so kind or not kind, those aren't cuties. um but I try not to put too much worth into those opinions because they're so variable. Like one second someone will be like, you're the best in the whole wide world, and then the next comment's like, you're so stupid, you should go. Yeah, okay. You doubt your self-worth and constantly seek external validation. I don't think so. I'm worthy. Strongly disagree. Okay, people who don't know you often think that you have a perfect life. Who don't know you often? What does that mean? Don't know me? You mean know me too well? What does that mean? People who don't know you often. Oh. People who don't know you, comma, often think that you have a perfect life. Okay, I get it. Yeah, probably. Strongly agree. I think it's really easy to look at the outside and think that someone has a perfect life. But that being said, I think we need to look about what perfect means because I do love my life. I'm so grateful for my life. And in my mind, my life is perfection for what I have always dreamed of and wanted and that I work towards. But it's not perfect in the sense that, like, me and Trevor never fight. We have all the money in the world. We never have to worry about anything. Motherhood is so easy, and uh, everything just comes to me. Like, I don't have to think or worry about anything. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, you make a charming first impression. Ooh, I think I do. I really pride myself in that. Sometimes I don't. Like when I'm in a shy mood, but I've told you I'm trying to work on this, but sometimes when I'm in a shy mood, but like back in the day, people used to always be like, "Oh, you came off as a bitch when I first met you," but it was just being quiet. And I always think about that when other people are being quiet and I feel like maybe there's an exclusion happening or I'm like, "Oh, why didn't they want to talk to me?" I always try and think of that, like how people used to think that about me, but it was just because I was shy and nervous. And I always think, this person looks so cool because I'm drawn to them. I'm drawn to their look, their vibe, but then they don't want to talk to me and that's making me feel insecure. But maybe it's not that they don't want to talk to me, it's I need to reach out to them. They're feeling nervous. Like everyone's shy. And then, I mean, obviously, sometimes people don't like you. That's fine. Okay, you are afraid of being thought of as a failure. Thought of, I really don't care what other people think. Strongly disagree. If I'm happy and living and loving my life, then why do I care what else someone else to say? Maybe I am a failure. Like, what if I am in a chapter of my life where I'm failing and I'm not doing what I want to do, and someone thinks that, okay, help me, help support me, help love on me, help build me up. I don't care that you realize that I'm a failure, that you think that, but like, come on, team effort. Okay. As a child, you were forced into thinking that bringing, oh, that word again, accolades, is what helps you get loved by everyone. Strongly disagree. I don't think that was my childhood at all. Okay, 70% there. You're often of your wants and you are often of your wants and feelings. Oh gosh, another sentence that I just don't understand. You are often of your wants and feelings. What does that mean? I am often of my wants and feelings. Huh? I don't know what that means. You are often, maybe it means like I I am, you are. I don't know. I'm going to go right in the middle because I have no idea what that means. Okay, you don't follow your desires. Instead, chase success as defined by others. Strongly disagree. Used to do that, don't do that anymore. You choose your outfits to maintain a certain mental image instead of their aesthetic appeal. Huh? You choose your outfits to maintain a certain mental image. Okay, what does that mean? Instead of their aesthetic appeal. I mean, the mental image of comfort and the aesthetic appeal of, oh, cute. I don't know what that means. I choose my outfits based on what I like and am drawn to, and I'm not sure what that means. So I'm going to go right in the middle. You have interests that promote self expression. Yeah, I think so. Strongly agree. You're extremely self aware. I think I'm pretty self aware, but I also think that I live in an imaginary land. Yeah, I actually think I might totally live in an imaginary land. So, am I self aware? Now, this is really doubting. Because what does self aware mean? Because now I'm thinking like, oh, what other people perceive me of, but it's not what other people perceive you of. It's of who you truly are. I think I'm self aware. I'm going to say strongly agree, like not fully, but like close to. Okay, you think of yourself as different from others, but not better or worse. Yes, strongly agree. You constantly feel that others can't understand you, yet you still feel the need to find real connection. That was me a year ago. And thankfully, TikTok has connected me with so many people where I feel like it's like we get each other, but you constantly feel like others can't understand you, yet you still the need to find real connection. So I'm going to say closer to strongly disagree. You feel a certain kind of comfort when dwelling in sadness. I'm going to say strongly agree, but like I want to say strongly agree for it's dwelling is throwing me off because like I do like feeling sad sometimes and I do feel comfort in sadness and connection to that side of myself. But I don't think I like dwell in it for like ever. So I'm not actually sure. That's what's throwing me off. So I'm going to say strongly agree, like not all the way. Because I don't try and be sad all the time. Okay. You prefer originality and hate following trends. Yes. And okay. So I'm going to say strongly agree. But like things, trends are so forever changing right now and so fast. So like, yeah, I like to stick with what I like. Okay. You have a deep understanding of your internal values. This is where I always get confused. Like, I feel like I've really had a battle with this. I do think I do. Yes, strongly agree. Okay. Oh, this is the last one, I think. Okay. You believe that channeling your sadness aspires you to create original work. Oh, okay. No, I think my joy more so than my sadness. So I'm going to say closer to strongly disagree. You often find yourself to be self victimizing. I definitely get caught in that, but I try really hard not to. So I'm going to say closer to strongly disagree. You feel like you are missing out on something that everyone else in the world has, but you can't identify what it is. You feel like you are missing out on something that everyone else in the world has, but you can't identify what it is. I think that's true at some points. I think loneliness can cause you to thinking of FOMO and that something's missing. But I think with every year of age, I've really learned that, like, oh, wow, we all really just don't know what's going on pretty much all the time. And we're just all figuring it out. And that brings me a lot of comfort. So I'm going to say strongly disagree. You want to understand the world around you. Yeah. But then I also love my inside world. So I'm going to go in the middle. You believe that knowledge is power. 100%. Strongly agree. Next. Okay. Ready for the results, cutes? I hope this was interesting. Ba-ba-da-da! The results are in. Okay. I am an ESFJ, which means that I am the provider, also can be known as the counsel. And the description given here is an ESFJ. You tend to be empathetic, warm hearted, and supportive. You are often a social butterfly and highly aware of others' needs. I then Googled it to look for some more because this one was like, pay me more money and I'll give you more. But I was like, I'll go to Google. So it says as extroverts, which I find it funny. I feel like I've always been an extroverted introvert. Like I do love being out there, but I also love my alone time. So it's actually like also I feel like I never like wanted to own something. So maybe I should own being an extrovert instead of an introvert. Like I do still love to like, have my downtime, but why can't an extrovert have that? Anyways, as extroverts, providers are talkative, energetic, and thrive around people. They prefer not to spend too much time alone, highly observant. I agree. I think I am very observant. Their focus lies more on the details than on how everything connects together. Ooh. I'm very intrigued. We're sensitive to the needs of others and will always live by their responsibilities. I do think I'm a responsible person. Anyways, is that what you thought I would be? That's my MBIT, which is called, I believe, is the Myers-Briggs, is like the actual name of the test. Yeah. And very interesting. I it makes me feel like I want to own being an extrovert. Maybe moving into like this new stage of life. I always do. We're coming up on my birthday, and I always do an episode before my birthday about what I learned this year. I'm actually really looking forward to listening to last year's to get some reflection in and what I hope for this year. And now that I've never like pushed myself to be known as an extrovert or like own that title. So maybe this makes me want to. Anyways, that's what I am. Did you participate as well? Because I'm so intrigued. I want everyone to go do this and tell me what they are, or tell me if you feel like you're connected to what you said you were. Also, I feel like I totally didn't do the Q&A at all. I did one question and then I did this question. Is that lame? Is this such a lame episode? I'm so sorry, cuties, if it was. I think it was a fun way to learn more about me. That being said, I will still do the Q&A because we didn't even hit into any of the questions. So I'm going to save them all and perhaps we'll do that next week or the week after. But yeah, that was so fun. What I learned this week is that I am an extrovert. Dun, da, da, da. Wow. Okay, let's get into roses, buds, and thorns. Okay, my rose this week, cuties, was just being um like a traveling fairy. Well, I don't know why I was a fairy, but just like bopping around everywhere. That made me feel really fulfilled, and I felt like that really spoke to this part of me that has been like excited to wake up and get out there in the world and participate and meet new people. And so that felt really good to boop and bop around and put myself in situations that would maybe I've made myself feel uncomfortable in the past, but just stepping out of my comfort zone. Sorry, too much bubbly. Just stepping out of my comfort zone. So that was really good. My thorn, I think that I was just having like a whole mental crisis when I was so drained. And I'm so grateful because I had the day to rejuvenate, which is all we can ask for, right? It's like I used to feel afraid to drain myself because maybe I wouldn't have that opportunity. But now I'm in a place where row um, gives me that flexibility, and also obviously have Trevor to support and lean on the people around me and ask for help, which is awesome, and I'm so proud of myself for that. But yeah, in that moment when I was feeling like really unenergized, I was also like in this moment of thinking all these negative thoughts, which sometimes happens, and just feeling like really down on myself and feeling like, oh, maybe I should stop doing this, or I'm not good at that, or whatever. But yeah, it was just a moment, it was a blip. And now my bud, what am I looking forward to this week? I feel like there's so many things. I'm really looking forward to today on my socials. I'm posting a video that I'm super excited about. It's a partnership that I have been waiting for forever. You guys are going to be so excited, cuties. If you've been with me since the beginning, oh my gosh, it's really exciting. So that's something I'm really excited about, and I've been working on, and I get to post it today, Wednesday, which is just so exciting. So, anyways, go check out. Oh, my alarm's going off. 1 second, I have to go turn that off because it's almost time to pick up Row. Okay, I turned that off. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. So go check out any of my socials. It'll be on Instagram and TikTok, and it's just something I have really manifested for myself and worked for, and I'm so excited about it. I kind of forgot that that was happening right now because it just like sometimes takes a while for things to get approved and go back and forth, whatever. But wow, yay, this is so exciting. That's such a this is such a moment for me. Like I want to make sure that I embrace it and really give it the celebration it deserves because yeah, I've been working hard for that. Yay! Okay, anyway, so go check that out. Then you can really rejoice and understand what I'm talking about. And what else? That's it. So let's get into our entertainment recap. Entertainment recap. Entertainment recap. Okay, so as I told you, I watched Abbott Elementary and um Why do I want to call it Pretty Little Things? Uh, that book series that I love so much. It's on Prime. The Summer I Turned Pretty. There we go. Okay, so The Summer I Turned Pretty was so sad. I feel like the first episode was tragic. The second episode too. The third episode there was a little bit more optimism, and I think it was only 3, maybe it was 4 episodes, but whatever. But it has been very sad, and I remember I'm having flashbacks to the book. I feel like this one is flashing me back more to the book than the first one did. Not that I don't think they didn't follow the first one. I think they took a lot more creative freedom and added in a few more bits and bobs, but like this one I'm really remembering the second book and lining it up with this episode. But anyways, or with this season. But it's so far been just like really sad, but I love it. It's so beautiful, and I always love the music they choose. It's so fun. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And Thursday they're gonna drop tomorrow. I'm so excited and to watch what we get next. And then Abbott Elementary was so good. I just love them so much. Like I love that sitcom. I love the show. I love the way it's filmed. I love the focus on the different personalities and classrooms, and it's just so funny. It's so good, and it's just like a feel good fun show, and it's really quick watch because the episodes are like 20 something minutes. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. That's all I've been watching. I think I'm going to start The Bear because that came out. I'm taking another break from Desperate Housewives. I keep taking breaks because it feels good. And then when I go back, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm back into it. So I have about a season and a half left of Desperate Housewives, but I'll get back into it eventually. But yeah, so that's what we learned this week, cutes, that I am an extrovert and talkative, which I think we all knew, obviously. Blah, 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 as I've just talked for however long. But thank you so much for being here. Don't worry, I'm going to answer your questions. I will hit them up on probably next week's episode. I can do it for. And I'm really excited to dig deeper into them. But this one kind of took a little turn where we learned about more of my personality and I guess how I would answer those questions. I really hope it wasn't a lame episode. I'm so sorry if it was. I love you all so much, and I'm wishing you a beautiful rest of your week. Also, go check out Instagram and TikTok at 5 Years Time Podcast for a really exciting partnership that I've been working on. I love you all so much, cuties. I wouldn't get to do this amazing job and live this life without you. You're all so fantastic. Mwah, 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 mwah.